Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gamer Corner. This is my special guest, Cameron.
Hi, guys.
The reason Cameron is on today is because I wanted to talk about a game called Overwatch. It's a new game by Blizzard. If you're looking for the quickest synopsis in the world, it's basically Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
But Cameron's been keeping a way closer eye on it than I have, so
I've been obsessed about it.
So I'm just looking for your input, Cameron. Let's hear a little bit about the game.
Well, one thing that's kind of interesting that I found about it is one of the things is it's a 6-player game, which is kind of interesting.
Is it
six on each time?
Okay.
So it's not like a 3-on-3; it's a 6-on-6. And there are different types of roles. You have your offensive, which is just your main damage dealers. And then there's the tanks, supports, and then a different class, which is defense.
So they actually have classes in this one, which, I mean, Team Fortress sort of did, but not really.
So they have different types of classes, and each class has specific heroes for the classes. And the thing that I really like about the defense, I'm going to sound totally nerdy about it, and a lot of people probably won't think of it the same way I do, but it's kind of like, you know, in Team Fortress 2, how you have the engineer and everything. There are classes that are specifically like engineer, where there is like Torbjorn, which is essentially the engineer from Team Fortress 2. There's Junkrat, who is this like crazy psycho like demolition guy that can shoot like grenades and stuff and throw down like trip mines and things like that. And then there are,
so you can set traps?
yeah, there are different types
awesome.
of classes that can do like traps and stuff like that. And then there are different types of healing. There are different types of supports where you can have shields or healing. And
Let me interrupt you real quick. Just in case you haven't played Team Fortress 2, it's a team first-person shooter. It's not meant to be played like, it's not like a Call of Duty where it's super duper crazy serious. It's still, you know, you can play it competitively, but it's more about essentially just having fun and messing around than anything. So, and I think that's an important factor because nowadays, at least, when you hear first-person shooter, you think a little more serious, you know, where it's, you know, you got to blow people away or whatever. Whereas this is a very solid team-oriented kind of genre, but it's also way more about just messing around, I'd say, than most shooters are. So I guess you could argue it's a similar sort of genre. I wouldn't say same like type of game, but the feel is similar to like a Left 4 Dead or what's that other zombie game you've been playing?
Killing Floor 2.
Killing Floor 2. You know, where it's a little bit more about playing with your team and messing around with each other than it is about getting a crazy KD, you know, so.
And also a lot different than like Team Fortress 2, where you have that one type of game mode that it's always is of collecting the intel. There are 3 different types of game modes, at least currently, for Overwatch.
Right, and it's in beta?
Yeah, it's in beta right now. It comes out June, I think it's June 29th of this year. I could be wrong on the number date, but I know it's in June. Because I've been keeping track of it. But yeah, there are different types of game modes. There's a King of the Hill like game mode. There's one where you're capturing 2 different objectives, and then there's one where you're taking over a payload, which is like essentially an escort mission for a cart, and you try to bring it from point A to point B.
Team Fortress 2 has one of those.
Does it?
Yeah, because they came out with new.
I guess I haven't played it.
If I remember right, I don't know how new they are, but most of the time you only ever play the intel capturing one. But I know there is a cart one where there's cart. Some people defend, some people try and stop the cart.
The objective. Yeah, they do have some of the objective ones,
which is fine. You know, it doesn't need to be extremely different. They'll bring a different touch with the. I mean, it's the classes sound. Pretty different to begin with, just because I like class systems where it's like, you know, you have options. So if you don't necessarily like running in and just shooting people, you kind of have like you're a defensive character. Your job is to set up traps and keep the base, you know, guarded.
And I also know some other type of interesting things they had put in mechanics that I just love. I know you're going to love because of the type of games you like to do. The entire environment is interactive. There are champions that literally have jetpacks, and you fly around with them, and there are characters that can run on the walls and stuff like that. You have hook shots to get up on top of areas. It's just such a mass area, but then it's also
Lots of parkour.
Yeah, but there's also the nice, like, the really mean thing of parkour where you can fall to your death and everything.
Yeah, I like games that have a little bit more, the movability is crazy where you can just sort of be like all over the place and whatever. The newer, I think it was Call of Duty, right, Thor? That's what that's what Nephew's been playing? That was Call of Duty where he's got all the jumping and, yeah, that was Call of Duty. So, I like games are trying to include a little bit more mobility in their play style, because it makes shooters more fun, to be 100% honest. It can be a little jarring at points, but when done right, it makes them way more fun when you're like running on a wall and you're just like blam blam and you're just taking a guy out,
opposed to just going down a corridor and just mowing everything down. I know from some of the earlier Call of Duties, I would go around with like the saw, like machine gun thing, and you just go in like super heavy health and everything, and it was that brainless thing of you just walk into the room and you just go "Gah," and just take everything out and just be like, well, that was fun, I guess.
So what else do we have on your note card? We got
I have the different types of characters and
well, we won't go too much into that just because you got a lot written about these characters.
Well, I wrote down every character.
Yeah. So we have, what's this interest? Multiples of the same hero in your area. Transport King of the Hill. Yeah. Okay, so, and this is by Blizzard, so if you played any, they've kind of been coming out with a lot of different genre stuff to kind of carry the fact that World of Warcraft's subscriber base is kind of tanking. Well, at least till Legion, we'll see how it goes. It might just do like Warlords of Draenor and just bounce and then drop right back down, but we'll see.
Also, interesting thing about it, they're planning on coming out with like different types of characters and stuff like that, like how Dota and a lot of those people do. But the other really interesting fact about it is, so it's like $50 for the game and everything. When you spend the $50, you get all of the characters on this list instantly, right away. So it's not like a thing where you're in a lot of games where you have to unlock all of them.
Characters, do you have to unlock the newer characters once they come out?
Of what it sounds like, no.
No, so it's just going to be buy it and you get everything, which is nice. I like a little mix of both. Because the League of Legends, Dota, Heroes of the Storm model is not bad, if you only want to play a couple guys or whatever, or don't want a ton of them. So it's not a bad model, depending on how you want to do that. But, especially for shooter games, it's a little more fun to just get everything.
Yeah, and of what it sounds like from the creators of it and everything, the reason why they wanted to do that is because so one of the things that you can do in the game is, like, let's just say random person, Bastion on the list, okay? He's a guy that can hunker down and basically be a turret. You can literally have an entire team full of Bastion. And another thing that's interesting, you're not stuck with him for the entire game. Every time that you go into a base, you can switch your character. You can switch it every single time. So they have all these giant lists of characters because of what they were saying is they want it so everyone has access to it. So when you see that entire team of all Bastions, you guys can counterpick it. So it's not a scenario where it's like, well, now what are we going to do?
Right, you just lose. Well, that's cool. So I think that's I think we've been Overwatched out. I think we got, so if you haven't been keeping up but it sounds interesting or have been keeping up, that's our quick synopsis of Overwatch. So look for that in June 6th-ish, we believe. Anyway, that's it here in the Gamer Corner. We'll see you next time.